because you can be sleeping and you're going to be making money. You can be traveling and making money. We like to say you have to slow down before you speed up. It's better to have 100 accounts with 1,000 followers than one account with 100,000.
Because if it gets banned.
I mean, we have some agencies that started with 10 clients. They're at 40 clients now and everybody's happy.
This is the Traffic Cowboy, and this is the guy who will bring you a lot of traffic.
Absolutely. So one day I get a call from my friend. He goes, you know that really big live cam platform? I go, yeah, I know who they are. What do they want? I don't know. They wanted to talk to you. And I'm like, I don't think I owe them money. And they're like, just call them. They want to hire you. So I'm like, all right. So I give them a call and they're like, yeah, we want you to be the vice president of organic traffic.
Wow.
But we want you to teach our team. So we're going to sign a 2-year contract. You tell them everything you know. I'm like, okay, but I'm not moving. I want to live in Texas. Like, yeah, no problem. Deal's a deal. So I wound up working for them, and now I'm going back to the conventions. I'm going into like Vegas, LA, New York, and I see a kid sitting in the corner, and this is maybe around COVID time. It was like the first show after COVID. And I see this guy, and he's sitting in the corner, and nobody's talking to him. So I go up to him, I go, what do you do? He goes, I do OF. I go, what is that? He goes, here, check this out. And he shows me his phone and he shows me his stats. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That's one account. That's one girl. He goes, yeah, it's me and my girlfriend. I'm like, holy fuck. I'm like, this is like insane. He goes, yeah. I go, let me get your number. I have to finish my contract. You know, I'm not gonna do anything separate. So I wound up finishing my contract and realizing this is the opportunity. Now I can move to Colombia, because I already had contacts with all the big studios and they wanted to start getting into OF. And what happened was I said, called up that guy, or he calls me and he goes, I'm looking for someone to build my website. Do you know anybody? Can you recommend anybody? I said, me, I'll do it. He goes, really? You're for hire? I'm like, yeah, I'll work for you. I want to learn this, you know, how OnlyFans works. And so I started working with them, and it was amazing. The opportunities were so like, it was like almost like new from what I went through, you know, from beginning of the internet, then the Amazon experience. But, you know, this was now where you could just take a photo on your phone, upload it. You didn't need hosting. You didn't need billing. You could just pretty much just have even bad lighting. You didn't need a light. You could just upload it to the platform and you were making money.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow, this is great. What I realized was, you know, having my outsourcing company in the Philippines and being able to work with a lot of the chatters there. I was one of the first ones to start a chat, you know, outsourcing chat, because I'm from the Philippines and I already knew the language, I knew the culture.
Yeah.
So I started doing chat for a bunch of agencies and a bunch of studios.
Like a chatting agency.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's all I was doing. But I moved to Colombia to then create accounts and to create the first agency in that area.
Wow.
And I'll be honest with you, it didn't work out well because I guess cultural differences at the time. But what really happened, which really was bad, was I started to have health issues. And I wound up having gallstones. I wound up being hospitalized.
Wow.
For over a month, and things just went downhill. But I eventually was able to, you know, I didn't have insurance at the time. It was expensive. And I wound up having to rebuild. You know, I came back to the US. I went back to Dallas. I started working at Chrysler, went back to, again, my roots again, to the electricity. And started saying, you know, something, this time I'm not gonna fail. I'm going full on, all gas, no brakes.
Wow.
I'm just going full on to phone farms, mobile phone farms. So I started building up, starting with a couple phones, then start building out racks. Something that's important when you're doing mobile automation is you have to remove the batteries, because what happens is when you're running a phone 24/7 for months, the batteries will bloat. They'll explode.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, even bringing phones on airplanes or batteries on planes, it can be considered almost like a bomb that goes off.
Yeah.
So I started building up my data center and getting back. I started actually working on data centers as to get my insurance for health insurance. And I was able to do that and then started coming again to the shows and really focusing on building out automation. Automation is probably the most important thing when it comes to what we do, because you can be sleeping and you're going to be making money. You can be traveling and making money. But as long as your automation is set up, the frameworks, you'll succeed. If you're trying to do everything by hand, logging into your phone, logging into the accounts, eventually you're just going to burn out and you're not going to be able to scale. So if you take an example like a regular creator who has 3 accounts, uploading their content, 90 days later, they probably lost their accounts for one, because they didn't set it up correctly with, proxies and cloning and changing the IMEI number. And they're trying to scale, but they keep hitting a wall. So that's where I started building out the frameworks, building out the strategies to be able to clone multiple accounts on one phone, one device. So the biggest question I usually get is, how many accounts can I put on one device?
Yeah.
It all depends on your processor. I personally, at this time, I like to use Galaxy S20s. It's a good processor. It's not too expensive. We are using S25s now, but only for tests. And also I get them, I get a wholesale cost through my carrier. But if I was just starting out, you could start with one phone. You don't need a phone farm.
Okay.
You could start with one phone, load 6 clones on it. And in my opinion, running 4 hours a day of automation, you'll get the most out of the investment into one phone.
Wow,
so 6 accounts, 4 hours of automation a day comes out to 24 hours.
Okay.
So you're running a 24-hour operation on one phone. As you start to build your system, or my system I can give to you, I'll give you guys, all of your members, I'll give her a free controller because you're OnlyMonster. And I will give you, you guys are very good. I like your product. It's awesome. It's probably one of the best platform tool to use if you're running creator platforms. So
thank you for that.
It's serious, So running the phones, as you start to build up, you then want to start putting the phones into boxes because heat will kill your system. Overheating, you want to cool down your system, cool down your phones, and invest into good wires. Guys that try to cheap out on buying cheap wires and you're losing connections, it's better just to spend the money in the beginning to get the right proper equipment. Good farms are built on good equipment. So once you start doing that, what you'll want to do now is start using 4G mobile proxy. And the reason why mobile proxies are superior to data center proxies is because the platform cannot ban that range of IP addresses.
Okay.
So if you're, for example, walking through the city or driving down the highway and your phone is always connecting and pinging different towers, your IP address is always changing.
Okay.
So the platform will not be able to block that range of IP address, or it will block out the whole entire part of the city or that part of the city. So we provide 4G mobile proxies. It's the same as if your clients or your creators are logging in from anywhere in the world but want to be geo-targeted in the US.
Yes.
We could provide that service for them by using our proxies, which is very affordable. They will never have a problem because they're not using a static or a residential or a data center proxy. Some people like to use residential proxies. It all depends on the use case. But if you're doing creator traffic, any type of the social platforms, you have to use a mobile proxy.
Okay, that makes sense to me, of course. So if a creator wants to get traffic and be geo-targeted in the US, what they can do is to get a remote control of a phone and do posting, do the content just as if they are in the US. And this allows them to get funds from the targeted geolocation. This is actually great. So what's the business model? In terms of if a creator wants to do that, getting more fans from the US, how do they start? What's the way? What are the steps?
Right. Well, we have a tutorial, but I'll tell you how it works. Opening the accounts, you want to open on a mobile device. You don't want to open on a computer. You don't want to use an emulator.
Okay.
Emulators are going to get you banned right away.
Oh, all right.
I mean, you might get away a month maybe, but that's the problem. You need to use a real device.
Okay.
And if you're geo-targeting in the US, you obviously want to use a device that's based in the US and or a 4G mobile proxy. You can use phones here in Europe or anywhere in the world.
Okay.
But you have to use a mobile proxy to be able to then connect and then to create the account.
Yeah.
We also provide the SMS verification phone numbers for over 350 different mobile apps.
All right.
So if you want to target any of the major dating apps, we provide the SMS verification phone numbers that you'll be able to create the accounts.
Yes. Okay.
So pretty much when you want to create an account, you need a phone number, an email address, and a connection, obviously. So we provide the phone numbers to be able to SMS verify the accounts on 350 different mobile apps.
All right.
So all the major dating, all the major social, we provide that. So once you have your account set up, you then want to use automation.
Okay.
We have an automation system for the major social platforms that emulate or actually mimic a real human being.
Okay.
So scrolling, follow, unfollow, comments, we do scrapers. We can scrape in a competitor account. If, for example, you have a competitor that has a big social account and you want to scrape all of their followers, we could target them. If they have 1 million followers, we'll take all 1 million, send them a DM, or start.
Even that, you can.
Absolutely, and you have to do it with mobile. If you use an API, you're going to get banned.
Wow.
So so I cannot stress how important it is to use mobile first. Think about it. Most of our clients don't even have a desktop anymore. If they do, maybe they're doing it at work or they're checking emails or paying bills. But when it comes to entertainment, everybody uses their phone.
Exactly, totally.
So it makes sense that you're marketing on your phone, and also the platforms know that they want to know who is in the same area, they want to know where you are and when we are. We're also, I mean, I can also tell you it's a little bit off of tangent here, but we also run a local SEO service that's based on Google Maps, being able to get you into the top Google using mobile devices.
Wow.
And also using wearables.
Nice.
I don't just wear these for fashion. These are actually a marketing device.
Wow.
These are wearables. And now we're targeting being able to get to the top of the maps by using wearables and, you know, typing in addresses. So the technology has been amazing. And sometimes we're actually creating, I guess, fake traffic jams. They're like red lines on the map because of the amount of devices we're bringing to a location.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I saw some kind of a post when someone was like grabbing so many mobile phones and then they appear. So you do that sometimes.
that was probably us.
Without even like not intentionally.
No, but it's marketing. And now like that's how I'm stressing how important it is to do everything on mobile, because that's how you're going to win. You know,
that allows you to get fans and actually automate DMing those fans as well. I heard you say you do that for Instagram.
Yeah, we have an automator for Instagram that you can target, I guess, another account on Instagram and scrape all of their followers and even leave comments on their page or on their account, on their posts.
And all that can be automated.
Yes.
Nice.
Automation is really what's going to take you from here up to, like, if you're not automating, like I said, you're just burning hours, burning time. You're going to get tired. You're not going to be able to scale. I mean, we have some agencies that started with 10 clients. They're at 40 clients now, and everybody's happy to reoccurring. There's so many people that's recommending them because they're using our system. They don't have to bother with having to set up everything because we've already done it. We've already went through the problems. We've already worked out the system. We're able to now just hand it over to them at a very affordable cost. You know, we're not trying to, like, you know, charge where it's very affordable for everybody to be able to succeed.
So if we come up with some kind of a set of mistakes to avoid, I would say, and I would like to ask you to elaborate on those. Avoid emulation, avoid doing that from a computer, do that through the either mobile device or mobile proxy?
Both. Mobile device and mobile proxy.
Yeah.
Mobile proxy if you're located outside the US and you're trying to target the US.
Yes.
But if you're in the US, then you don't need a proxy unless you're trying to change cities. So yes, we have farms in New York, Dallas, Miami, LA. Yeah, so that's the only time you would want to use mobile proxies to change city locations. if you're trying to target the US. Your clients or your members from Europe, if they're trying to target the US geo, you're going to want to use 4G mobile proxies. 5G, 4G, 5G. We got 5G.
If you don't do that, that's like a mistake. It can run you into troubles.
Well, what's going to happen is the platform is now going to geo-target you to where you open the phone. So if you're in this city, in this country, it's going to start targeting everybody where you're opening the account and where you're posting from. And the reason why they do that is most likely because of they're selling their advertising for local businesses. And the local businesses that are spending the money a lot of times want to target people that are based in that city or that location.
That makes sense.
So if you're trying to target customers or clients or members in the US, then you want to start everything from the US.
Okay, can we add something to the list of things not to do if you are trying to get funds from the US, or like you're trying to build some funnel of membership subscription? Something that should definitely be avoided, maybe some strategies that used to work before but they don't work anymore?
Yeah. We like to say you have to slow down before you speed up.
Okay.
So you want to warm up the accounts.
Okay.
Take the time, make sure the account is strong. You're starting to see views. Don't just start posting like crazy. Of course you could, but you're going to get banned. It's just not going to work. So take the time, warm the accounts up, and just act as if you were just a new user for the first time, join the platform, join the social media platform, and then you're addicted. Now you're starting to like ramp everything up. But like I said, stay safe. Don't try to go too fast. You're gonna get banned right away. The mobile devices, trying to just take your time. You're gonna get there.
Can this be automated as well?
Of course, that's what we do. If you go into our automation software, you can set all the speeds, all the tolerance, what you want to do. We'll set it up to start out what we recommend. But if you feel crazy and you want to go nuts, all for it, And some people take chances, and sometimes it works. You don't always have to play it safe. You could build out 1,000 accounts, and that's the beauty of not having only one account. Like I see creators all the time just crying because their big account that had 100,000 or 1 million followers. It's better to have 100 accounts with 1,000 followers than one account with 100,000.
Because if it gets banned, you're kind of...
And there's services they say that they can get them back. And they might work, but next week, next month,
might happen
that account's banned again. So take the time to do it right. Of course, you want to put your best content out there. We have some systems that we're working with privately with our clients that scrape all the top OF accounts and then actually show which reels, which content's actually doing the best. And I can give that to you guys too. It's kind of something private that I only work with, but you guys are really good to me, and I've really enjoyed watching you grow. I see you here at all the shows, and you guys have done really well, and I want to help you guys out as much as you guys have given me support too.
That's valuable for us. Thank you. And I'm pretty certain that everyone who's watching us right now will also see value in that.
Yeah.
If we cover basically the do not do that, what can we add to do this? Because if I go to some conference, some event, and even talking to people online, those agencies that we work with, individual creators as well, they usually ask me if I know someone who knows where to get traffic, who brings traffic. Can we give some advice on like, okay, this is the way that could work for you? Instagram, maybe X, maybe you...
We're also doing a Reddit. We have a lot of Reddit systems right now. We're, again, automated. We do a thing called Parasite SEO.
Okay.
Are you familiar with that?
Not sure.
It's Black Hat, Okay. I only do Black Hat, honestly. White Hat just doesn't work. It doesn't work. Black Hat, it doesn't. You're playing it safe. If you want to make money in this business, in my opinion, it's all Black Hat. And
for those who do not do that a lot and just start, could you elaborate a little bit on the difference between White Hat and Black Hat?
Okay. Black Hat is not illegal. A lot of people, they are under the impression that it's illegal, and it's not, unless you're afraid of the social media police. All you're doing is breaking the terms and service of the platform. You're not breaking any laws that you could be arrested for and illegal when it comes to what we're doing.
That's
of course,
important.
possible, yeah. All you're doing is breaking the terms and service of the platform, and the worst case scenario is you get the account banned.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm saying it's better to build a big amount of accounts with a more loyal follower and engaged. You'll look at accounts that are highly engaged that only have a small, very focused and very targeted follower group. And you see these big accounts with 1 million followers that there's nothing going on there. So don't be impressed by big follower accounts. You're really focused on engagement and making money.
How many likes, how many comments, and all that.
And so that's why it's also important to get them off the social media platforms and get them into your paywall, and then having a good team, chatters and stuff like that. Obviously everybody knows about that stuff. We do still provide a service for that, and we work with a lot of agencies who need our help, but we're very, very strict on who we take on board on that.
Okay.
And we want to make sure that we're more of a boutique type of chat agency than just taking on anybody.
Okay.
But we're not really, honestly, we're not concerned about big numbers. Like some agencies are like, I'm not touching that account unless it's making $5,000 a month. We'll work with an account that's starting at $500 a month, as long as we see that there's going to be growth and we feel that it's something that we can help a lot.
So you can actually help with chatting, with traffic, and you can take an account that's not making a lot of money, like some new creator who has just started.
Right.
You can actually take care of them.
Absolutely.
OnlyFans?
No, all the platforms. We also work with a lot of the pay sites, and a lot of the creators that are just starting out with the creator platforms are starting to build up very big libraries. Well, not very big, but let's say they have a couple hundred videos. We also have a tube submission service where we have partnerships with all the major tubes. I mean, we've been doing tube submissions for over 20 years when we owned pay sites. So we obviously have friends and we're trusted, and we know how to create the galleries. We know how to create the thumbnail, the tags, the titles. And not only do we just offer that as a service, we go back 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and look at how well that is performing.
Okay.
And that's very important. You don't want to just do something and just set it and forget it. You want to come back and see what you can do better. Because the time it takes to create that content, the time it takes to do the first initial submission, you're going to do a lot better if you actually have somebody like a statistician. They're not that expensive. If you don't want to do it yourself, there's ways of taking your type of software and being able to look at the stats and saying, okay, this is what's working. Let's do more of this. So yeah, we provide services like that. So yeah, traffic, mostly traffic. I am the Traffic Cowboy, and the way I became the Traffic Cowboy is with one of your sponsors, Andy over there.
Oh, nice.
We were actually, when I was semi-retired and living in the Philippines, I showed up at Mike's bar, the photographer for these events, and his girlfriend runs up to me and goes, Andy's here, Andy. I'm like,
who's Andy?
Who's Andy? I don't know who this guy is. The captain. So I'm like, okay. I introduced myself. I go, what are you doing here? He goes, we're going scuba diving. I'm here to go scuba diving. So obviously I love scuba diving. He loves scuba diving. So I said, I live here. I have a car, and let's go scuba diving. So we spent a month traveling around.
Wow.
Seeing some amazing. He's amazing. The dives, the scuba, the coral, the sardine.
Oh, I can imagine.
So he was an inspiration. Yeah, I mean, I was living in Texas, so I don't just wear this as an outfit. I wear this every day. I mean, I do have a ranch. I do have a truck. I do. This is my lifestyle. But I figured,
authentic cowboy.
Yeah, I mean, I might not, like I said, I wasn't born in Texas, but I got there as fast as I could. It's an awesome place. But he had the traffic captain, and so I figured this was the time to reinvent myself and come back as the Traffic Cowboy.
Wow.
And like I said, yourself, you have a unique look. I mean, you're highly recognizable. It helps a lot to do that with building your brand, obviously building trust, having a good reputation. I haven't been in this business this long without being able to serve the people. Serve my clients well, and if there's ever a problem where I feel like it's not going to go the right way, I would rather lose money and just save face and be like, listen, it didn't work out. Let's just go our own ways. Here's the money back, or just So I do offer a guarantee.
Okay. This is also very important.
Very important, and that's like if you're just starting out in this business. Obviously, if you have a highly recognizable look and you're planning on showing up at these events every month or you don't want to have any problems, and you want people to refer you. I mean, most of my business first, exactly. Most of my referrals come from other people that I do business with, and it's really about trust and referrals and stuff like that.
And providing good quality service, because we just launched our referral program a few months ago.
Oh, wow.
We actually managed to grow that much over the years, even without that like referral program that could benefit people for recommending us to each other. They were just recommending us to each other.
Okay. Wow.
And this is very important. I totally agree. Trust first, and not only trust, like you say that even if something goes wrong, you're like totally into maintaining the reputation and communication and the partnership and the trust first.
Yeah.
Not making money, like, but rather establishing connection that benefits all sides. I really like that.
Exactly. Tell me more about your referral program. Is it just based on the service you provide, or does it actually go deeper into how much the creators are actually making off the platforms?
Well, that is related to connecting to OnlyMonster, and if an agency runs profiles and also have chatters, they do well, they use our service, they might have another friend who has never heard about OnlyMonster. Right. And if that other agency connects for an entire year, the one who referred them into OnlyMonster gets 10%.
Wow, nice. 10% of the spend of the agency or the account.
That they spend on OnlyMonster.
Sure.
Yeah. And that actually has two levels. So those that they invite also bring money to the original. Yeah.
I love it.
So it is quite beneficial for those who wants to recommend us to each other. And if some agencies, OnlyFans agencies, are like doing that together with some friends, other agencies, they sometimes do recommend us to each other, and they can now benefit from it.
So signing, I just learned about this, to be honest. When was this launched? You should have told me. I mean, I'm happy I showed up. I mean, that's the importance of being able to show up and learn about these things. Of course, I could have learned about it later, but by then, that time, most of the market share might have been lost. So it's always important to be at these events, like you said, communicating and networking with other people in the industry.
Oh, totally, yeah. Wow. And I'm glad that we met with you like a year ago or so, and like
I think it was here, right?
Yes.
Oh, yes. It's been a year, and I've seen you guys grow, and I'm doing my things. I hit over 10, 12 shows a year. Wow. I do the shows, but a lot of my business is mainstream. It's not just adult. So we serve a big part of the mainstream community. I'm at all the mainstream, so
providing traffic to them?
All traffic, yeah.
Nice.
So I mean, from what I do is not just adult or creator type of traffic. We work with big brands who want to raise their profile.
Okay.
So I kind of I still wear the black hat, but we do work with some major brands that are trying to increase their reach and following.
Nice. Speaking of educating people, maybe we could give some advice that actually works great lately. Maybe they do it with you. Maybe some of them do it without you. But can we recommend something to people who are interested in traffic?
Right. I can't stress enough how important mobile devices are. Real phone devices. It's the only thing that's working right now, and I think into the future. That's really the secret, is real infrastructure, phone devices, the proxies, good content, of course, and automation. Without those three things, you're really going to just burn out and fail. You're not going to grow as fast as everybody else is growing. I mean, I work with some of the top 1% accounts, marketers that are in the top 1%, both adult and not adult, like big major companies. And you have to be automating. You have to obviously have good content, and you need the infrastructure of the mobile devices.
And that works for Instagram, Reddit, X?
Anything mobile, anything really. I mean, there's not that many platforms or traffic sources other than, let's say, the big tube sites that are really desktop based. Mm-hmm. When it comes to mobile, it really is important that, that's where the customers are. That's where the traffic is. I mean, like I said, everybody has a phone. Everybody's getting their entertainment on the phone. We all have phones here, I would think. I have 2, 3 phones. I have 20 phones in my hotel room.
Wow.
I should have brought that here. Honestly, I think we...
we see the map.
I think tomorrow you should actually come and see my phone farm that I'll be doing my display at.
Okay.
So I actually have a phone box here.
Great.
You know,
Yeah.
where I can send you some copy.
I remember you showed me some pictures. I would love to see that in person, like myself.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like I said, we actually remove the batteries, hot wire them so the batteries don't explode. Saves with cooling, keeps things running. You want to make sure if you're going to do an investment, you want to make sure that you're running 24/7.
Of course.
You know, and that's where you'll start to see the return on investment by doing it right from the beginning. So,
And with all those years of experience that you have doing that, I believe you thought about every single aspect of making sure it's safe, making sure it works, making sure it's automated. I remember you also mentioned something about 4/6. Like this is how you make sure that it's 24/7. 4 hours, 6 clones. Could you elaborate a little bit on that part?
yeah, I mean, what we find, of course, is running 6 clones or 6 accounts per device at 4 hours of automation a day.
4 hours of automation a day.
Right.
Why don't we do the 24 hours automation?
You do 6 accounts times 4 hours is going to give you that device running 24 hours a
From
day.
one to another, then to another, then to another. Why cannot one clone do 24/7?
It's not natural. You're going to get banned. The
Okay.
platform is going to be like, who's awake for 24 hours a day?
Okay.
You know, like they have systems in place
Yeah.
to try to block what we're doing.
Of course. So this is like a game of chess.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, if you're, unless you're doing some kind of, some kind of something, you're not on the phone for 24 hours a day.
Well, being on the conferences, I'm kind of 24 hours.
That is true. But not running swipes and follows, unfollows. You know, what we do is with our automation, we make it exactly how a human would react on it. And we try to keep everything to be as natural as possible.
Nice. And I also remember that was subscription based per month.
For ours, yeah, per month. I mean, yes, when it comes to the proxies per month, when it comes to the service, if you're buying a phone box device, that's just a one-time fee. You know, once you set up the hardware, you'd pay once and then just run it till it either wears out or time to upgrade. You know what I mean?
Have you seen some ways to run it better than the others? So someone decides to try using your service, try getting traffic from you, and maybe you had a chance to see who is doing better than the other. I know those are internal business processes, internal strategies that they usually come up with, and some of them do better than the other. Maybe there is something that you saw and had a chance to
Yeah, I really can't share my clients' strategies.
Yeah.
I mean, and honestly, sometimes I don't even look. Once they log into their phone and we set them up, I don't.
They do their own.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so I don't even have access in most parts of what their strategy is.
Okay.
And even if I did, it's not my place to share. You know,
Right.
Everybody has their own secret sauce, and if you're doing business with me, there makes no sense for me to tell everybody what you're doing. But you could probably figure out what everybody's doing after a while. And obviously, if I'm doing something, and we're always constantly trying to upgrade our system, upgrade my strategies personally, I will give that to you. Yeah, I mean, so we do run a small podcast, and we do our updates with the knowledge base. So I'll always be putting tips up that I'm finding that are working now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so you can go to the Jesus Empire and learn what we're up to. And in that case, yeah, I will give you the strategies, but pretty much what we talked about today is what's working now. Of course, next month things could change, and we are always trying to perfect the strategy and system. But yeah, I mean, the big groups, there's big Telegram groups, but it's hard to get the secret sauce.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're digging.
It's changing. You're quite right. Yeah. And if someone wants to run that, they can do it on their own and find out which secret sauce works best now.
Yep.
And if someone wants you to do the full stack kind of thing, the traffic,
Yeah.
like you take care of all those processes. Is that also possible, like for Peter Bright?
It's possible, but it's a use case scenario.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really open up our services to everyone. If I like the project,
Yeah.
if I find personal interest and I say, wow, this is cool.
Like big brands, especially, I guess.
Big brands or new strategies, new services, and I'm like, wow, this is cool. I want to be part of this. Yes. Based on the creator, if it's in your case, creators, if they've already proven their content, proven their system, it'd probably be easier, but I don't really, it's like I said, it's a use case scenario. It depends. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say yes. We are, like I said, very strict on mostly the enthusiasm and the how much structured the creator or the agency is.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather them already have a team in place that I can teach them.
Yeah.
I don't mind spending the time and having our team teach them. If I'm going to do everything, I might as well just tell them to hire a VA who they think is in. It's the same thing, letting them do their own pay.
You teach though.
Oh, absolutely, yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
This is also valuable.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're not just selling you a service or selling you a product and then be like, all right, later. You know, I mean, a lot of this is complicated for some people. It's new for some people, but if you're good on your phone, it's mostly like how good you are on, working on your phone. I mean, there's, we hack into the developer mode of the phones.
Yeah.
You need to learn at least that, but we'll teach you and we'll get you set up and we'll give you full support. Like, you're not just going to be left in the dark after you've bought our service.
Also very important. Yeah.
I mean, you understand that too. I mean, it is.
Of course. And providing constant support, being in touch, the communication, it's the key, I believe. Even if something is not that clear from the day one, it can all be like figured out as long as you are in touch and you keep that connection.
It's an awesome business, and like, just you grow out of it. You might, like I said, I've gone different places in my life and tried different things and did different things, but I found myself back here, and it probably has a lot to do with the people. You meet some of the most genuine people in this industry. I mean, of course, you meet some, messed up guys, but I really created my friendships here. This is my core group. I will be going to the mainstream account. I'm starting to build like a little team and people that I meet up at every show that I get along with. But when it comes to the creator industry and let's say not safe for work, I've met most of my friends here, but that's what I've grew up since I was, late teenager, 20s. So I might have left, did mainstream, came back because, people like you. I mean, obviously, you've been fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So
it's actually a pleasure for me to see people like you. You do extremely well. You're well recognizable, and I am genuinely happy that we met.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad that we have a chance to record this podcast today and show people that there are ways to get more traffic. There are cool things happening in this industry. Not only very nice to work with these people, but also quite like big money happening over here.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, this is a rare interview. I usually don't do interviews, so hopefully your fans and your people that are watching enjoy it. I'm happy to contribute. I'm happy to help. I mean, you can contact me for other things, not just, not like...
Maybe we do some scuba diving at some point?
Absolutely. There you go.
I love
out to Texas, get some barbecue and
nice.
Ride some horses and stuff like that.
Wow, I've never been to a ranch before. I would love to.
Hey, come out. It'd be awesome, man.
With pleasure.
Excellent.
Dugmor, thank you so much for being here today.
Welcome, man. Thank you, guys.
This is the Traffic Cowboy, and this is the guy who will bring you a lot of traffic.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. See you guys in the next program, and good luck on your journey.
It's been OnlyMonster, sharing insights and useful information from inside of the industry, people who actually have something to share. So I hope you've been enjoying this podcast, and I hope you have some useful insights from it. Thank you for watching.
Thanks, guys.